How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another Hump Day Hockey. Today, well, we got a lot of news, a little bit of stats, and only one prediction. But nevertheless, let's get right into it, shall we? First and foremost, I'm going to talk about Gabriel Landeskog, who has already spent his 2-game suspension, but he got a 2-game suspension for a high hit on Bruins forward Brad Marchand. I watched it, and it did not look that threatening. I think 2 games was probably more than enough. Another piece of news. You guys remember when I said that Martin Havlat was signed by the St. Louis Blues? Well, guess what? He's now been released from that contract. I don't understand why. I hear it's for personal reasons. Maybe he doesn't like St. Louis. But he only played, I think, only 1 game for them. Got 1 shot on goal. He didn't get any points. That's too bad. And I was right with one of my predictions, guys. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, that's right. As there was a trade, as the Lightning traded away Kevin Poulin to the Flames for future considerations. I find that this benefits Calgary quite a bit. Poulin will be a solid backup, if not an okay starter. So good for them. And a big signing this week, as Justin Abdelkader signed a 7-year contract extension with the Detroit Red Wings, and he'll be making over $4 million a year for the next 7 years. That's a lot of money, and he probably deserves it. I mean, he was an okay scorer for them. He's probably a solid second liner. Probably when he gets older, he'll be a third liner, but he's pretty good. And finally, for the news, Chris Wagner, probably a player that you guys have never heard of, was picked up by the Colorado Avalanche, by the Anaheim Ducks on waivers. Wagner is still looking for his first career point in the NHL. He was drafted in the 5th round by Anaheim in the 2010 draft. Stats and standings. The Canadiens are coming back down to earth, and as they are only 2nd in the East. Well, technically they're still 1st because they have 30 points, but also with 30 points are the New York Rangers. So 2nd, 1st, right now they're saying that they're 2nd. Also in the East, if the playoffs started today, would be the Washington Capitals, the New York Islanders, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the New Jersey Devils, the Ottawa Senators, and the Detroit Red Wings. And for the West, the Stars are shining above the Western Conference with 30 points as well. And below them, if the playoffs started today, would be the Predators, the Blues, the Kings, the Minnesota Wild, I remember them this time, the Blackhawks, the Sharks, and the Vancouver Canucks. The shocking things in those standings, personally, I find, are the Lightning and the Bruins are not in the playoff spot right now for the East, and even more shocking than that, the Sabres have the same amount of points as the Bruins. Now, the Bruins are barely out of the playoffs, so maybe we'll get to see the Sabres this year in the playoffs, guys. That would be very exciting, in my opinion. For stats around the NHL, the Superstars of Dallas have finally been dethroned as the top point getters, as Patrick Kane has risen above them with 28 points in 18 games. Kane has been extremely hot, scoring 10 points in his last 5 games. That's incredible. And while on the topic of Chicago, Artemi Panarin is still leading rookie goal scoring with 18 points in 18 games. Good for him. And goalies, you can argue that Henrik Lundqvist is the best goalie in the league right now, with a record of 10 wins, 2 losses, and 2 overtime losses, a save percentage of .947, and a goals against average of 1.69. And finally, my last thing, predictions. Well, I should just call it prediction. I find that the Canucks are right now in 8th position in the West. They're not going to be in the playoff hunt next week. That's unfortunate, but they have only won 1 out of their last 6 games. That's right, they've lost 5 out of their last 6. So unless they can get a better record than that within the next few days, I don't see them getting very far. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my video. I love you guys. I hope that you're enjoying the series because I'm enjoying doing it. Bye, and have a great day.